Hey folks, and welcome to my review of the OneOdio Monitor 60. As it states there, these are a closed back headphone, because this company normally makes kind of Bluetooth and true wireless and things like that. So they have kind of stepped into headphones, and they say this is for audiophiles and DJs. It states there, so we'll see about that. It's also high res verified. Again, we'll see what that's like. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimer is OneOdio sent this out to me review. So thank you very much. I was not paid to this video, and all the thoughts and opinions are my own. So let's just see what you get in the box. But before we go in, let's actually see what it says in the box. So specifications, the Monitor 60. They are releasing an open back headphone in the future, so I'd be quite curious of that. There's just kind of some information about it there, but specs are, use a 50mm neodymium driver. So you get the headphones, you get the manual, you get a PU bag, which we'll see in a bit. 3 different cables, which is kind of cool. There's some information there. And yeah, 38 ohm impedance, sensitivity of 110. So this should be for headphones, relatively easy to power. It's got 2 different plug types, and the frequency is 20 Hz to 40 kHz. And yeah, so let's go. So as to start, you get this kind of bag. That's what it looks like. Nothing amazing, no real padding. I'd love to have seen a carry case included, because they say it's for DJ use, audiophile use. So if you want to carry it on the go, you only get this. So a carry case I think would have been good. Comes with 3 cables, which is quite different. So this stretchy one. So 6.35 or 1/4 inch to 3.5 only. They are deep connections, but I'll show you in a bit. So that's the 1 cable. 2 is this one for mobile use. So it's 4 pole at one end and 3 pole at the other. So quickly show you that. So obviously this end goes into your phone, for example. Obviously that goes into the headphones with the deep recess section. Kind of thin. And 1 button on there, and that's it. So there's 2. And this is probably the one you probably more likely use at home, shall we say, if you use this with a PC. So again, 3.5 to 3.5. As you can see, this section is more likely to go into the actual headphone themselves, and obviously that goes into your amplifier or whatever you use on your computer, which is that one. So, and that's pretty much it. But the thing is, using it mobile, I probably wouldn't recommend that, because they're massive. They look really big. So yeah, in the next clip I'll just give you a quick look over the headphones. So here they are. They come in black. Obviously they've got their kind of branding in there. As you can see, the pads are, this is massive. See how thick the pads are. Obviously it's hard to, show scale, but here's my Jabra true wireless one, just have it next to me. So if you can kind of gauge scale, they're kind of really big. Obviously at home it's not a problem. If you wear these outside, they look kind of odd because they're massive, but obviously closed back. As you can see, a negative, see, this moves really easy, and see how they do that. That's some of the negatives I found through my use case, but this is just a quick go over. I'll go to the review section in a bit. So that one's, swap it over. So left and right, you can use either, which is kind of cool. So obviously there's 1/2 inch, there's the 3.5, L and R on the sides there. Padding is pretty cool, pretty light. They're also quite light. They're only, I think, 200 something grams. So for how big they are, they're not much heavy. They can fold either way, as you can see. So you can use them on your chest, or if you're a DJ, you can actually move them how you want. It's a little bit too flexible. See, I think it should be a little bit more rigid, but you can see the depth of the pads. really soft. I found these very comfortable, but I'll get into that in a second. Obviously all plastic build. Again, they are working on a open back one which looks similar, so I'm quite curious. That's the extension you have, which is more than enough. And that's it. So not much to say really. It's an all plastic construction. I'll explain more further on in the next bit, but it's just a quick look, you know, what they're like. And again, for the size, they're quite light, and they are obviously closed back. So obviously L and R, and yeah, let's put some good more hours onto them, and then you'll see me in the future in the next clip. Just a quick kind of run over the user guide. So it says you can actually share. So that's you can kind of bridge two headphones together. So that's kind of unique. I don't know how many people use that, but it's good to see that you can go from one source, which is the phone, to one, then bridge to another. So that's kind of cool. It says ergonomic design. Obviously it folds. You've just quickly seen how that works. How you can use it with, say, a phone or anything with that kind of connector. Obviously single button on the actual controls. So there's another way, from the 6.35 to the 3.5. Again, same thing there. A lot of this is very kind of straightforward, but at least you can use it for a few different use cases. So 3.5 straight to 3.5, probably how most people use it, or with the extendable cable. 50mm kind of driver, 30 ohm impedance. Obviously you've seen all the kind of information on the actual back. So yeah, so the 3.5 to 3.5 with the mic is 1.2 meters, which is perfectly fine. The 3.5 to the 6.35 coils, which is like typically what you see DJs use, is can go from 1.5 to fully stretch to 3, and obviously the 3.5 to the 3.5 is 3 meters, which is a good length. And that's it. So yeah, on to the actual review of the headphones. So finally on to the review of the OneOdio Monitor 60s. Like I've already explained a few in the earlier section, so I won't really go over too much, but yeah, let's get on to build. So build is okay, but I just feel like the tolerances should be better, and I don't like how it does that so easy. And these move super easy. So these from these hinges, I think it should really be more kind of robust. Well, not robust, but just tighter tolerances. I don't like how it does that too easy, but build's okay. But if they could fix that in a second generation, would actually be quite good. So comfort, obviously you're going to be wearing these for hours. I had no issue, but as these are like full kind of leather, this may get really warm around your ears, or if you live in a hot country, this may affect you more. Considering obviously I'm in the UK and it's kind of winter time, I have no real issues. And again, on the top headband, it works fine. You may need more clamp. The clamp is slightly light, but I do have a smaller head, so obviously mileage may vary with that. So power, I didn't really have any issues. These are surprisingly easy to power. So my source is the Topping E30 DAC, and then that feeds into my L30 amp. No issues. Medium gain, probably about 30% medium gain tops, so they're kind of easy to power compared to something, so I had no issues at all. Obviously they are closed back. And let's get on to, yeah, just show you a good look. Just the general build, I think tolerances need to be tightened up. But these are, I think, the company's first closed back headphone. See, I do like the fold flat. Obviously the folding is very good for if you're a DJ. They're also targeted at audiophiles, but I don't think that's really correct, because the sound needs to be more neutral, but I'll explain that in a bit. So yeah, sound. So what are these like for actual sound? I say them kind of L-shaped, so they have an elevated low end, and then the mids and the treble just sounds kind of further back. not kind of. I had no idea what to expect because I haven't seen any graphs or I've seen no other feedback or anything, so I'm just kind of using them kind of blind. But they do sound kind of L-shaped. I was expecting maybe more V-shaped or anything like that, but the sounds to my ear kind of L-shaped, where everything else is a bit pushed back. They're not really bass monsters. They just sound kind of dark. They have a darker sound to them. Now, as an audiophile, you want these to be way more neutral than that, and they aren't that. Yeah, but actual resolution is okay. Again, you can probably get better headphones like the Takstar Pro 82. It's probably more an established headphone in a similar price than this actually is, because these are obviously are fairly new. OneOdio have been around there for a while, but their products are typically Bluetooth, and I've had no issues with their Bluetooth product, but I think they need to target the actual kind of headphone more, because trying to do two things in one, I don't think it's really that. But sound is okay. Like, you can listen to for long periods of time. I had no issues at all. I tried this with a few different films. I haven't tried it with gaming, but I tried it with that new TV show on Apple called Foundation. It's got a really kind of good music score to it, and these actually sound pretty good in that. But for music use, I just found them, I'd say, I wouldn't say the V shape, more of an L shaped kind of sound. And yeah, as you can see, there's also the two inputs. They're not a bad pair of headphones. They just need to be careful where the actual, kind of how they're pricing them. But let's get on to isolation. The isolation is pretty good because obviously them close back. But again, I only use these in a quiet room, so I didn't really hear anything else. It blocked obviously my PC noise and everything out the way, so no problem. Soundstage, they have good width. The driver seems really far back, and obviously you can see how deep the actual pads are. The driver's all the way back there, and the pads are thick, as you can see. They seem to have, I think that gives the illusion of good width, soundstage width. Imaging was okay, and forward stage is okay. I wouldn't use these for competitive gaming. They're probably good for, for a bit of casual gaming. I don't see any issues like that. And that's it. Kind of subtle apart from that. Comfort, at least the comfort was fine. And yeah, I'm trying to think anything else. They didn't really wow me, but they're not really bad, but they're not really great either. That's the kind of issues. They're kind of in the actual, kind of in the middle ground really. But for general music listening, they performed fine really. They just, like I said, they didn't really amaze me, or they wasn't really bad or anything like that. And yeah, so on to the conclusion, I think. So kind of on to my conclusion of the OneOdio Monitor 60s. These are marketed as audiophile and DJ. I would say DJ only, really, because the ear cup design is used for DJing, but for audiophile use or just general home usage, I don't think you'd want that. And obviously you've seen how loose it is, so they need to change, I think, how it's kind of marketed. So the connections is, I don't really like how it's underneath. You could see it before, like you have a proprietary connection. I think just a single 3.5 that sits flush with the actual headphones, so you can actually use something like a V-Moda Boom Pro, the mic. So you can turn these into a gaming headset. Would be, I think, a good idea. I like these actually two inputs on the actual ear cups. I don't think they really need that, but it's good that they're actually all there. So yeah, on to sound. I think they need to be a lot more balanced. They need a lot more detail. I wouldn't say they're massively dark, but they do sound a bit dark. They need more, I think, a bit more detail going on. Things need to be a bit more forward to be a bit more clear. Build is okay on the whole. It's all, he has a feeling that he won't really fail on you, but just how it all moves a bit easy and just kind of tolerances, I think, need to be a bit better. But this is like a first generation headphone, So obviously we can see what happens in the future. Yeah, obviously it comes with the stand and obviously this drinks holder, which is not too bad at all. Obviously they perform on the whole, I think, kind of average. They're not a bad pair of headphones, but they're not a great pair of headphones. And obviously for the price, they are competing with established companies. So yeah, kind of a long conclusion, but yeah, they're kind of they're okay headphones. They just need, I think, more of a refinement to be really competitive. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching my review, and take care.